All right, Drake Riggs here with The Scrap with Raymond Daniels, man. Getting ready for Bellator 238 here on Media Day. Raymond, how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling amazing, man. I can't complain. My weight is on point, so just looking forward to Saturday.
Awesome. And, I got to wonder, phenomenal kickboxer, right? Is it motivating for you to see guys from kickboxing get into MMA and just really have great success, like Israel Adesanya, for example? Does that motivate you, seeing these guys from your world step into this new world, do so good?
Yeah, it does, honestly, because I see some different martial artists that are stepping over and crossing over and making a great transition. Style Bender, my man Mike Page, Stephen Thompson, just to name a few of the different names that have come over and made great impacts in the sport of MMA world, and are showing people what kind of like the beauty of a true martial artist or a true fighter is like. A lot of people aren't willing to go out and to risk throwing certain techniques because it's too much risk for the reward.
Mm-hmm. And getting into MMA now more seriously, of course. How many fights are you planning on for 2020? If you're trying to map it out at all, or just going with the flow?
No, if I already honestly have a mapped out plan of 2020. I plan on fighting here in January. My wife will be fighting most likely in March. I would like to fight again in April, and then I would like to fight again around July, August time. And so I do those 3 fights, and then I would like to fight at the latter part of the year. And in that fight, I would like to fight somewhere up in the top 10 of the Bellator list. The Bellator welterweight division is one of the best divisions I feel right now. In all of Bellator and all of just mixed martial arts, period. So I would like to fight somebody up in that top arena.
Yeah, sounds like a great plan, if you ask me. So. Yeah. You got one of the knockouts of the year in your fight, right? Everyone probably talks about this when they talk to you, but just how do you top that, man? Do you think about topping it? I mean, how do you top it?
I don't know. That's what everybody's like, oh man, how did that feel? I'm not a person, first and foremost, that believes your own hype. Some people they get caught up in the hype of the fame or the this or the that, and that one had millions on millions of views. And everybody's like, oh, how does that feel? I'm like, but I've had a knockout before that people call it the knockout of the century. Yeah. So that covers, say, a century, and this is the next century. Yeah. But so I for me, those are just basic moves that I like to go out and do. So they seem very advanced for people. They're like an intermediate to advanced move, but that's, say, my top 5. One of my top 5, I consider personally one of my top 5 knockouts. But I just go out there and I like to continuously challenge myself. I like to go out there and continuously give people something that maybe they dream about, or maybe they saw in a kung fu movie or in the Power Rangers or the Ninja Turtles. So I like to keep people on the edge of their seats to be like, what is this guy going to do next?
Nice. Yeah, of course. That's the dream, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, we talked about the plan a little bit, get to the top 10 by the end of the year. So is the ultimate goal just kind of challenging yourself against those guys? Or, do you want to be champion? I guess that's the same thing, challenging yourself against the best guy. But is that the ultimate goal, the title? Or, I know a lot of people want to see the MVP rematches from, you guys had those back in the day.
Yeah, definitely. Well, if you look at as far as my past and my history and look at my resume of where I've come up, when I did sport karate, in NBL, NASCAR, when I did WCL with Chuck Norris, when I did Glory, when I did Bellator kickboxing, I've always risen to the top, and I've always challenged for the title, so it will be no different here in MMA. For me, my goal is what it's always been, to be the GOAT, put God over all things, be the greatest of all time, and if I'm going to participate in something, I'm not here to do it, I'm not here to take over, I'm here to become the champion and challenge. We have a great champion right now in the welterweight division, which is Douglas Lima. I think he's a champ that many other champions should aspire to be like. He's a family man. He's a godly man. He's not out talking nonsense about his opponents and stuff like that. He's always very respectful from any interaction. I'm actually a huge fan. So Mr. Lima, I would love to eventually get the opportunity to challenge you for your crown. I don't have time to go down this yellow brick road, so that's why I want to climb to the top pretty quickly and see the wizard, and that wizard happens to be Douglas Lima. And obviously he knows that by being the champion, you kind of paint that own target on your back, where everybody's going to kind of be coming at you and looking out for you. And I'm right now at this point in my career, I don't have the resume in order to be able to call him out or challenge it. So I don't think it's a call out or a challenge. I'm just letting you know where I'm going. So therefore, when you look back on this interview, you can say, okay, now he's here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what it is. But for me, it's looking to be the best. I don't come to take part or participate or to take over. I come to show everybody how great you can be if you dedicate yourself to something.
Beautiful stuff, man. And, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but, Bellator and Ryzen, they've been doing this great cross promotion lately. All last year, capped things off at the end of 2019, with the big super show in Japan.
Yeah.
Is that something you'd want to be a part of? I mean, maybe going over, fighting in the ring and Ryzen, just getting in on that action, if you've thought about it at all.
Yeah, no, that would actually be awesome to go over there and compete. I actually had my first kickboxing loss over in Japan, so I definitely want to go back over there and kind of fix that and correct that. That was against Joseph Valtellini. Bazooka Joe, how you doing, brother? But a very tough guy, great champion as well himself. But yeah, so I would definitely. I love the crowd. I love the people over there. It's great energy. And it's one of the origins of martial arts, and I'm a martial artist. One of my first styles is Shotokan, which is a Japanese art. So that's where it's from. So I love to go and visit and just to see that and just to be able to compete and be a part of a crossover promotion. I would love to do it. It could be kickboxing or it can be MMA. Exactly. In fact, I'll do them both in one night. It's all right.
There we go. That'd
you
be
know what
first.
I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, So and set the tone for that,
Yeah. And so as for Bellator 238, though, we got the big championship fight, main event. Chris Cyborg, Julie Budd. You got to pick in that fight.
If it's gonna be an early fight, I would say if Cyborg's power is very intimidating for the early part of the fight, but I think Julie Budd is a champion, and she's a champion for a reason. If she can weather that storm that Cyborg's going to be coming at her with for that first and second round and take her into the latter rounds, I think she'll have the advantage. So I think Cyborg has the strength advantage with most of the people she fights, if you look at her past resume at the beginning of the fights. But the longer that the fight goes on, the harder it can be for her. So I think it's going to be a great match, and I'm happy to be a part of the card, and to be honest, I'm looking to steal the show from both of them.
There we go. Of course. Awesome, man.